simple equations. And it says on here, we're going to take these same skills that we use to write and solve these equations to write and solve systems. So the thing is, we already know how to do this. We know how to write equations. We know how to solve equations. We know how to graph equations. And we're going to put all those things that we've been learning and working so hard at, put it all together. Okay, I'm erasing so I can scoot the page down. Okay, so flip it over. Now we are going to take a situation and write them together. So now, Nina, and yeah, this takes the same amount that we found. You see on here, this $1.60 per pound. We just found that, right? Way to go, us. So $1.60 per pound for the strawberries, and the apples $1.99 a pound. Okay, let me start back at the beginning. Nina purchased apples and strawberries. She purchased a total of 9 pounds of fruit. Okay, that's pretty important. That's, what does that mean? It means that however many pounds of apples and however many pounds of strawberries, it adds up to a total of 9 pounds. So what could that be? Four pounds of strawberries and 5 pounds of apples? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of different combinations, right? So then there's this extra piece of information that says she spent a total of $16.35. So here's the kicker. That's where we're going to take the two pieces of information. So, and a single solution that fits both equations. Okay, so how many did she, and the single solution is talking about how many pounds of apples and how many pounds of strawberries to fit both situations, to fit the 9 pounds of total fruit bought and the total spent of $16.35. So remember back from the very beginning, we wrote up there on the top in the vocab section that it compares two things. So the first thing is money, right? We've got the total amount spent and the total per pound, or not total per pound, but the amount per pound. And we have the quantity. So we are going to have, sorry, I'm getting okay, sorry, I had to dismiss something. So it says it requires, I'm reading the first bullet here, right there, read with me. It requires two equations. First, it find an equation that represents the amount. So here's our quantity equation. And then look at the second. It says second, an equation that represents the cost of the fruit. Okay, so the amount of fruit, this is always, like the quantity one is always the easiest. Okay, if I was standing in front of you, I would hold both my hands up and I would lift my left hand up a little bit and I would say she had some amount of apples, and then I'd lift my right hand up and say I've got some amount of strawberries, and together they equal 9 pounds. How would we write an equation for that? Super simple. I'm going to count to 5 in my head. Think about it. Hopefully you said apples plus strawberries equals 9 pounds. Okay, it is simple as that. Some amount of apples, we don't know, represent it with the variable A. Some amount of strawberries, represent it with the variable S, equals 9. Okay, so then this next one is going to represent the cost of the fruit. So this is one we're either going to have it like our box X plus box, where we have one per amount and a starting amount, or we've got two per amounts. So which one is it? Hopefully you're saying two per amounts, because we've got the per amount for the apples and per amounts for the strawberries. Okay, so we're going to use our, I'm just going to write it real small over here, our AX plus BY equals C format. And we don't have to think too hard. Hopefully you guys are like, yeah, Mrs. Key, we get it. It's $1.60S plus $1.99A, and it equals $16.35. I hope you're getting that, but I don't want you to get frustrated with the equations. If you're like, oh, I don't know what to start with, I don't know where to begin, I don't even know how to write an equation, you're full of baloney about that. You guys are excellent at writing equations, but here's the place to start. Figure out what kind of equation it is, and then fill it in. Okay, remember these are our boxes for the 2 per amounts, our standard form, right? Right. Okay, so $1.99. Let's see, which one is that for? The A. So instead of X, I'm choosing A because it's $1.99 per apple, combined with $1.60 S. Anybody else find this weird? Maybe you don't because y'all don't really shop and pay for groceries. Strawberries are never cheaper than apples. Okay, anyways, equals $16.35. Okay, and boom, we've got it. We have our $1.99, or our 2 equations. Sorry, somebody's calling me. I'm getting distracted. Okay. We have our 2 equations, and we don't have to worry about solving them yet. That will come later, okay? Right now we're just practicing writing the equations. Okay, so good job for us. Mrs. Schumacher, I've now been on for 17 minutes on this video. This is going to be a huge one, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, and we'll have a 3rd video for Wednesday. Okay, so when y'all are ready, just play the 3rd video.